Alright, I'm back again, and as I'm recording this video, it's about a little after 7 a.m. on February 24th, 2022. And Russia they're saying, has launched a full-scale invasion into Ukraine. That's what I woke up to this morning. When I went to bed, the tweet from Stephen King was making its rounds, and people were laughing about how grateful we were to have Trump out of office, and because Putin realized he was dealing with Biden. Went to bed to that. Woke up to a full scale, to bombs going off in Ukraine and martial law being declared. Yeah. And that's not what I wanted to do a video on today. No. I wanted to talk about how Justin Trudeau was walking back his Emergency Powers Act, and how I was hopeful they were going to drop all charges and return property of those that were arrested and everything else. No, I don't get to do that. Instead, I'm going to discuss Putin and Russia. Let's get real. When you're dealing with people like Putin, and it don't matter if they're in Russia, North Korea, China, Iran, it don't matter. They're one and the same. They're going to do what they want to do. It don't matter who's in Washington, D.C. It don't matter who's with the United Nations speaking out against them. They're just going to do it. Repercussions be damned. They probably compare notes and laugh at how the Western world's trying to get them to do this and do that. They probably do, truth be told. So when people talk about how this wouldn't have happened under Trump, it probably would have. It was going to happen. Putin going into Ukraine was going to happen no matter what. It's like China and Taiwan. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's when. What I will say is really the only thing Trump would have done would be to delay the inevitable. And it's not because of who he was or anything he said or did. What Trump wanted to do was to normalize relations with Russia, which is not a bad thing in and of itself. The problem lies with, as I've said before in videos, I love Russia. I love Russian people. I've known people from Russia who left Russia and came to the United States. They were pretty cool. A little crazy, but pretty cool. It's the government. It's Russia's government. So that's, mainly the people that's in Russia's government, because you have a bunch of the ex-KGB types in there right now. So when I say that Trump would have delayed it, it's not like he would have done anything. What I think would have happened was, where Trump was, the main difference between Trump and Biden was, Trump was like, we need to talk to Russia, we need to normalize relations. I have a suspicion that Putin was working that angle. He was going to try and take advantage. There's a social engineering technique, and I forget the name, where you basically build a certain amount of confidence, and then you push them just a little bit more and a little bit more until you basically get their head in the noose, and then you can get them to do just about whatever you want to save their own hide. That's what I think would have happened with Trump. However, where Biden was in no way, shape, form, fashion interested in relations with Russia or really talking with Russia, that threw a wrench in the plans. But in the end, what's going on with Ukraine right now was going to happen anyway. And I've had interactions with people who are currently living in the area. And I'm hoping they're all right. It's never the wealthy elite that want the wars and back the wars and everything else that wind up getting affected the most. It's people like you and me, the little man, who gets screwed over. I know this is kind of like a ramble of sorts, and I probably would call it the Russian-Ukraine ramble, but it's early. The caffeine hasn't kicked in fully. And I've got this annoying tree frog outside my window that apparently it's their mating season, so sleep is not my friend right now. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Basically, Trump would have just bought us time from the inevitable, and much as I hate to say it, this is just going to be the big bang, if you will, the starting point for some more interactions like this elsewhere. And there's nothing we can do about it, because if we try to launch sanctions against Russia, they've got enough people wanting to willing to deal with them right now that they'll be fine. If we try to go against China, we can't go against China and Russia both. No. Especially since we're so dependent on China. We are as dependent on China as a large portion of Europe is dependent on Russian oil. So let's not act like we're in a position of power here. We've set up a situation where the parts of the world that people puff up their chests and refer to as the moral compass of the world, there are people who actually think that. But yeah, we are dependent on Russia and China. And a few others, but yeah. And if they wanted to, that's a new rattle. If Russia and China wanted to, they could come together and bitch slap us into a depression the likes of which we've never seen. That's my thoughts on the matter. Let me know what you think below. Yeah. But it's Thursday. It's, yeah. Later.